Our text for today comes from the Gospel according to St. Luke chapter 8, verse 39. Slightly different translation from what was read. Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you. And he went away, proclaiming throughout the whole city how much Jesus had done for him. Return and declare. Demon possession is something that Jesus encountered throughout his ministry and which he took seriously, as this story illustrates. In today's story of Jesus' encounter with a naked, demon-possessed man, we find three situations, each presenting a contrast that remind us of the power and authority of Jesus. The man was possessed and controlled by demons before he came under the influence of Jesus. The story doesn't tell us a great deal about the man's background and the onset of his condition, his demon possession. When Jesus came out of the boat and stepped ashore, he encountered this man, naked and demon-possessed. The encounter reveals something very important. The power of Jesus is greater than that of demons. In the presence of Jesus, demons cry out and fall before him. In fact, Charles Wesley has a hymn with a line that says, Jesus, the name high over all, in hell or earth or sky, angels and men before it fall, and devils fear and fly. In fact, that was a whole verse from the hymn. Jesus can command demons. He has authority over them. And when we think of demons, we might think of evil spirits. Another term that the New Testament uses is impure spirits. But demons can be thought of as anything that affects a person in a negative way, that leads a person to engage in destructive and harmful behavior. Interestingly, when Jesus asked the demon-possessed man his name, he said it was mob, as you heard in that reading, or in some other translations, the word legion is used. And just by asking the name, gave Jesus, or demonstrated Jesus' authority over the demons and over that demon-possessed person. Because to be able to name something is to have authority over it. So, as the man said his name was mob or legion, depending on the translation you're using, there's this explanation. For many demons had entered him. In other words, this man was filled by a mob of demons. A legion of demons had entered him. The word legion was also the name given to a division in the Roman army that consisted or comprised of 6,000 soldiers. So when the man says his name is Legion, a mob, we get a picture of a man who was extremely possessed. The name Legion gives an indication of the extent of the man's possession. And what the story shows is that Jesus had authority over that legion or that mob of demons that possessed the man. That Jesus could command that legion of demons that had entered this man. And as we read the story, we also discover that the demons made the man wild and hard to restrain. But by the power of Jesus, he was transformed. He was restored. Here is what we know about this man. When Jesus met him, he was not clothed. And he could not be restrained. We are told that when the demon seized the man, he would display this super power to the extent where he could break the chains that were used to restrain him. But all of this changed when the man met Jesus. He was transformed. The story shows that Jesus has the power to change. When one comes into the presence of Jesus, when one submits to the power of Jesus, that can work a miracle in one's life, that can bring about a change, a transformation in the life of the individual. The demons had stripped the man of his dignity. The fact that he would go about unclothed, naked, meant that he had lost his dignity. And that is what demons can do. Or anything that we might consider demonic. It can strip one of one's dignity. And not only that, it also affected his mind, his mental state. But when he met Jesus, his life that had been wrecked and ruined by these demons was now restored. The story tells us, then people went out to see what had happened. And they came to Jesus and found the man from whom the demons had gone sitting at the feet of Jesus. And this is important. He was clothed and in his right mind. He was clothed and he was in his right mind. And we are told that the people were afraid. They feared Jesus. Jesus restored the man's dignity and the man's mind. He was a new man, a new creation. The old things had passed away. No more possessed by demons, but possessing a new life and a fresh beginning because of that encounter with Jesus. My friends, the message here today is that Jesus can make things new in your life. Jesus can restore what evil has taken from you. Jesus can give it back to you, your dignity, your life. But there's something else in this story that we must also see. The man wanted to go with Jesus, but Jesus told him to return to his home and declare how much God had done for him. Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you. Again, the story doesn't tell us anything about this man's home. The story doesn't tell us anything about his family or the community to which he belonged. We learn from the story that he lived among, again, that translation says caves, but he lived among the tombs. That is where this man had made his home, among the tombs. Put another way, he had formed a community among those who occupied the tombs, among the dead. In other words, his life was effectively dead. And this could be a way of saying that the man didn't have much of a life, since for a long time he had worn no clothes and he had not lived in a house but among the tombs. Obviously then, my friends, one of the casualties of this man's demon possession was his family life, or normal life within the community. For a long time, he was alienated from his family. For a long time, he was living outside of the community, living among the dead. He was a living dead for a long time because of his demon possession. Now that he was restored, the man wanted to stay with Jesus. It's interesting. While others who witnessed what had happened wanted to get rid of Jesus, told Jesus to go away, this man for whom Jesus had done so much wanted to stay with Jesus, wanted to accompany Jesus and go wherever Jesus was going. However, Jesus told the man to return to his home and declare how much God had done for him. And according to the story, the man was obedient to Jesus, and he went away proclaiming how much Jesus had done for him. In other words, he became a witness of the change that God can bring about in a person's life. The man had a testimony which he could share not just with people who didn't know him, but with those who knew him best. You know, when Jesus does something for you, my friends, you have a testimony. You have something about which you can speak. You can tell others of the wonderful things that Jesus has done for you. And you know what? The best place to witness is among those who know you best. People who know your past, who knew what you were like, who knew what you did, who knew how ruined your life might have been, who might have written you off. Sometimes, or most times, or all the time, those are the best people to whom you should witness, because they can assess, evaluate, judge, if you wish, the difference in your life. Home, among your kindred and friends, is a hard place to bear witness, but it is where those who have experienced that profound change, that difference that Jesus can work in a person's life, are called to witness. Not just in some far off, remote place among strangers who know nothing about your past, but among those who know you best is often the best place to bear your witness. So my friends, as we come to the end of another month, I charge you today to return to your home from this place where you have come and worshiped, where you have met Jesus, where you have experienced the Spirit, where you have experienced joy, and hopefully this experience has helped you, has made a difference in your life. Go home and declare to your family members and friends how much the Lord has done for you. Tell them. Don't be afraid. Let them know what the Lord has done for you. Let them know and encourage them to taste and see that the Lord is good, that God has been good to you. And since God has been good to you, they too may come and experience the goodness of God in their lives. The power of Jesus to transform, to make a difference, to give them life instead of death, to give them joy and peace and all that is good. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.